What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 105 of Trail Tales. My name is Kyle O'Grady. I am a thru hiker. I am a peak bagger. I am a huge hiking nerd who stumbles over his words sometimes. Thank you for joining. This is going to be a great episode. Taylor, the Nahamsha Hiker, or I guess it's Nahamsha. I always feel really weird saying that. I kind of butcher it, but you guys know Taylor hopefully by now. She's a previous guest of Trail Tales. You've probably seen her in some of my videos from the summer, maybe, if you watch my ridiculous videos. And she's awesome. She's a amazing hiker, and she is going to be leaving to hike the Appalachian Trail just a few days past from the time that you hear this episode. And so most of the episode we spend just kind of talking about that, talking about her plans, talking about what she's excited for, maybe what she's not excited for, and then I do a fair bit of reminiscing and just kind of running my mouth about my thru hike as well. So it was a good time. It was a great episode. Taylor's a great friend of mine, and very thankful that she was down to spend some time talking to me shortly before she left. So it was awesome. Thank you, Taylor. Best of luck out there. We're going to get into the episode real quick here. First, I just want to give a huge shout out to the editor of Trail Tales, Rose Comics Turner, because she has been doing an amazing job. I don't thank her enough, and I'm not always the easiest person to schedule with. I'll just leave it at that. So thank you, Rose. Thank you for all the amazing work, and I think I say on the behalf of everybody that listens to, thank you very, very much. Let's get into the episode, folks. We're going to keep this one short. Episode 105 with Taylor, the Nahamsha Hiker, soon to be Appalachian Trail class of 2021. All right, here we go. Episode 105 of the greatest hiking podcast on the face of the earth, and probably on other planets as well. I'm here with Taylor, the Nahamsha Hiker, who hopefully a lot of you know from some of my videos or our last episode, which was number 85. That's the last time Taylor was on the show. It was over the summer. Taylor, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, let's go. So Taylor has a lot going on right now. She was just on the news, the local news, but still the news nonetheless in her area, which is really cool because her channel is popping off. And she's leaving for the Appalachian Trail real soon, like next week. Yeah, next week soon. So we're gonna talk about all that stuff, and we're just gonna do some. We'll probably end up talking about YouTube a little bit too, because we both have YouTube channels. So there's not too many people that have niche hiking YouTube channels, and so when we get the chance to talk to each other, obviously we're going to talk about that a little bit. But basically what I'm getting at here is I don't really know exactly what we're going to talk about beyond those things. So why don't we start, Taylor? I'm sure, like I said, most people are familiar with you, or a lot of people are anyways, but for those who aren't, why don't you just give your introduction spiel, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I'm Taylor, live in Nahamsha, so that's kind of where that came from. I started hiking in New Hampshire in 2016, right after I moved here from Massachusetts. Started with the New Hampshire 4,000 footers, did a couple smaller lists in New Hampshire. I'm a huge list person, so give me a list of mountains and I want to achieve them. So I've done a lot of stuff in New Hampshire, and then I kind of got hooked on the idea of through hiking the Appalachian Trail. So I started planning that, I think, late 2018, and set out to do it February 29th, 2020. And then, obviously, that didn't go as planned. I got to Hot Springs, North Carolina, went home, did a bunch more local stuff in New Hampshire, and then planned to through hike again this year. So that's where I am right now.
Yeah. And I guess that's one thing as we talk about, her plans for just, next week, getting back on the trail. I guess I just want everyone to keep in mind that she already went out last year and was killing it, by the way, and would have definitely finished the trail if it wasn't for COVID stuff. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll.
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, you should be.
Not to sound bad, but I'm like I feel prepared.
Okay,
I'm ready to tackle it.
So here's a good question about confidence, I guess. So as I think about what I want to do in the future, which includes another long through hike, probably PCT next. I think of I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of pressure there, even though I haven't announced anything and I'm not even doing it next year or whatever. I don't even know what my plans are. I just feel like there's a little bit of pressure there, knowing that now I actually have a YouTube following and people are going to be watching videos and following my hike and shit. Do you feel we might have talked about this? I've asked other people this. I can't remember if I asked you this last time when we were talking about the AT, but do you feel any? It's actually a good time to ask this too because you're so close to leaving. Do you feel any pressure from the YouTube side of things? The fact that there's going to be, as weird as it sounds to say this, thousands of people watching your hike, following your hike. Do you feel any pressure in regards to that, or are you just screw it? I'm just going to send it.
I kind of feel pressure. I want to do it because I know there's so many people cheering me on, but at the same time, I'm so fine with myself. If I were to somehow not be able to finish, because I like doing what I want to do. So I feel like that would help, and that part of me would kind of take over. So I've said this a couple of times, my fear for the Appalachian Trail is not enjoying myself, because I know if I'm not enjoying myself too much, then I would take action.
Yeah.
But no, I do feel really confident that I am going to finish.
That's good.
I don't even want to think about that part.
Yeah. I don't blame you, but I'm definitely going to make you talk about it a little bit because it's just it makes me curious. Because I was thinking about this the other day. Because, sometimes when you're just thinking about random video ideas or whatever, thinking about YouTube stuff, I was just thinking about what it would be like to be announcing a long through hike like that on my channel, which is obviously an experience I don't have. And I was just thinking in my head, geez, what is this question, Kyle? I imagined it basically as me coming out and just being yo, I'm going to do my best to through hike this trail, but shit can still go wrong. I just imagined myself being very cautious about it. And it sounds like you're a little bit more confident, which is good. I think that's a good thing, honestly. As someone who's done the AT, obviously, I think that's a good thing. So I don't know. That's just kind of interesting to me. And then another thing that maybe, and I'll get your thoughts on this, maybe something that influenced it was just the fact that, and again, you didn't quit your last through hike because of anything that was within your control, but you already announced a through hike and then, had to back off of a through hike one time already. So maybe you've already gone through that process. So maybe I guess a better question to kind of bring you back in here would be, do you feel more confident this time, or maybe less nervous about the whole YouTube aspect of things, people watching aspect, than you did last time? Is it the same? Can you just talk about that a little bit?
I think I feel more confident this time.
Okay.
And then I think me starting over at the beginning helps a lot, because I know exactly what the first 274 miles look like. So I'm not nervous at all. I feel once I pass Hot Springs, then I might get a little bit of nerves. It's funny you mentioned announcing it on YouTube too, because when I did my 2021 announcement video, I kept saying through hike attempt. I don't know if I'm going to finish. I don't know if COVID's going to let me or if anything's going to happen. So I just kept saying the word attempt. And this one person in the comments told me to stop saying that word. So I kind of agreed. So I'm once I stop saying the word attempt, then it just gets me into that mindset.
Yes, that's so sick, honestly.
Yeah, that helped.
I had a very similar thing when I first started, except it was the opposite. I didn't have the confidence that you have. So me and my friend Mullet Mike, we would always for the first, I don't know exactly how far, but at some point there was a turning point. But for the first couple weeks maybe, whenever people would ask us what, are you guys trying to do the whole thing? We'd be oh yeah, we're trying, or oh, we're doing a through hike attempt or whatever. But there was a point, and it was well before the halfway point too, so we still had a lot of ways to go, but there was a point where it switched from, oh, we're attempting a through hike to oh yeah, we are doing a thru hike. And so maybe just getting that out of the way before you even get out there is a good thing. And then I think like you have as good of a chance of finishing it as anybody does, honestly, just because you have a lot of experience, and you honestly, just the experience of doing the first 270 miles, whatever it is, to hot springs, is going to help you so much, as you already know, in similar conditions, all that stuff. So I'm jealous, by the way. I've probably told you that 1,000 times now, but
yeah,
I'm so
that's
jealous.
What you comment every time I put a video.
I know, I am.
Like,
I'm jealous. I am. Like, I don't really, and it's funny to say that because like I don't even like want to hike the AT again. I'm just jealous of like the beginning of the thru hike. It was so crazy and just so like nerve wracking, but also just like awesome at the same time.
Yeah,
I feel
a lot
like
of different feelings going on.
Yeah, exactly. I guess so. It sounds like you're feeling pretty confident. You know, obviously a very short time away from when you're actually getting out there. Are there any more like last minute like plans that you're like trying to get done, or like anything else for prep as far as getting out there, or do you have everything kind of squared away at this point?
Honestly, my taxes.
Oh, geez.
Gotta do that. But no, I think I'm gonna make, like, I'm not gonna do full resupply boxes, but I do have quite the stash of food in at my house for people to send me. So I got a bunch of stuff together. I actually did that today. And to go down to Georgia, I'm doing a road trip, so with my mom and my mom's friend. So
you're driving, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know if I wanted to go on a plane, but I don't know. I thought driving would be easier because you can just put your pack right in your car. You don't have to worry about luggage or what you can take on a plane or not. But yeah. Exactly.
It'll give you plenty of time, a couple days to just like kind of think it over too.
Yeah. And it's convenient just having my own car and just being dropped off right at Amicalola.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm so jealous, honestly. Although the beginning of my thru hike was hard just because I was like, and I don't feel bad saying this to you because you already started a thru hike before. So like, you know what the very beginning is like already. But for me, I was just like so just nervous and shit. Like it didn't even hit me until I think it was the morning of is when it hit me. I was fine the whole day before. I was in the car like you were. Like I drove down with my parents and it wasn't until I like actually woke up the morning of that I was like, oh shit, this is about to go down. But no, you'll be good. And if I haven't said this already about 1,000 times, Taylor, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I know. So you obviously weren't out there for that long. But well, in the grand scheme of a thru hike, anyways, not that long. But 200 miles is still a lot of miles. But
yeah, I think in 2020 it was like I did either 10 to 12% of the whole trail between like the beginning part and what I've done in New Hampshire. So yeah, that is small.
but it's what I was getting at there is it's really not though. Like for people who hike the entire length of a long distance trail like that, it's not that long in comparison, but for like most just normal people, like 200, I think he's 270-ish miles to Hot Springs. That's a long ways. That's the length of the long trail, basically, that you did. Of course, that section of the AT is probably a little bit easier, but it's still a lot of hiking is my point. So what are you, if anything at all, honestly, gonna do maybe differently this time around? Your second like starting thru hike attempt?
I don't know. I'm like really happy with how it played out the first time. I think if anything, I won't be as nervous to go into towns. Like I refused to hitchhike or find shuttles or do anything. I just kind of like one time I just sat in a parking lot and kind of hoped for the best and met someone that drove me into town. But I think I need to like put myself out there more and like, I don't know, just do things. Like I'm not good at making decisions. So I don't know if that makes sense. There are some towns I want to see and like, I don't want to stay at the same exact hostels and the same exact shelters that I did the first time around. So I want to do it all differently. But I don't know. Like, I loved all my gear. I loved the food I chose to bring. You know what? I would take a lot less food. I carried so much food with me at all
everybody
times.
makes that mistake. I guarantee you 90% of the people listening to this podcast right now made that mistake on like their first couple backpacking trips, myself included.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I learned is how much food you actually need per day, especially in the beginning because it's not that much.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not.
Yeah.
How about vlogging? Are you going to do anything different vlogging-wise?
I don't think so. I did daily vlogs on the trail last year. There were a couple days where like I put 2 days in the same video, and that actually made it more confusing. Trying to like get footage from 2 different days. So daily vlogs, I'm definitely gonna wait till I'm in town to upload them because a couple of my videos came out in like 720 or even lower quality, whatever that is.
Oh, because you're uploading from like your phone with like your I didn't even know it would do that. That sounds kind of sketchy, honestly.
So like the first 3 of my daily vlogs came out awful quality, and I won't even like rewatch them. But so waiting to town to vlog, and then I want to like do better at it because I still use my phone to do the vlogs, but I have a better quality phone camera, and I want to like add music and try to make them a little more fun to watch.
Well, you now have a whole summer of vlogging, under your belt, so.
I have a lot, I'm going into this year with a lot more experience in the whole YouTube thing than I did last year.
And your channel's probably a decent amount bigger too, right?
Yeah, probably double the size
than interesting.
It was last year.
I wonder how that will affect not only the views, but like your actual like hike too. Like, I wonder if you'll meet more people because of that, like while you're out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Last year was about like one person a day would say that they knew who I was. So
That's
I'm
crazy.
Curious about that.
That's crazy, honestly. I wonder what it would be like for me, honestly, because like our channels are similar sizes, right? And so I wonder if I were to like go out there, I'm guessing it'd probably be about the same, maybe like one person per day. But that's just crazy to me because I've only been recognized maybe like 3 or 4 times this past summer.
Yeah. I think I was listening to one of your podcasts today about who was that guy on the Northville Plastic Billionaire?
Jacob. Last week's episode, yeah.
Yeah, he told him that you've only been recognized twice, and that surprised me.
Twice? Did I say twice?
I don't know.
It's like, it was twice. I'm trying to think. All right, folks, we're going to go through it right now. Ready? So if you're one of the people that recognize me, you're going to get a little shout out here. First time was actually... I got recognized from Instagram one time, but it wasn't from YouTube. It was from the Trail Tales Instagram, which I don't even really use anymore.
Huh.
That was in the spring. That was in like May with Flossie. Then I got recognized in... What was the next time? It was a while after that, I think. Oh man, when was it? It wasn't until like August, like late August. I was on the Long Trail with my friend Dan and Flossie. I actually didn't film that backpacking trip because I just wanted to spend time with Dan or whatever. But I got recognized by a guy there from YouTube. And then I got recognized by another guy a few weeks later in the Whites. And then I got recognized by Tyler, the guy we talked about in the last episode. So that's four times. But I guess only 3 of them were from YouTube. So anyways, that was my TED Talk.
No, that's cool.
You're going to have to let me know how much you get recognized, because I just think that's I just can't really imagine what that would be like, and obviously I wonder about that now because I have the channel and I'd like to vlog my future through hikes and stuff, so that'll be interesting.
Maybe I'll put the people in the vlog.
Yeah,
if they recognize me, be like, do you want to be in it? I did that last year, and some people said yes, but a lot of people said no.
Oh, they said no, really?
Yeah, they're like, you can take a picture of us, but we don't want to be on YouTube.
Yeah, which is like fair.
Is fair. Totally fair.
Especially, it'll probably be like that for me too, because they'll look at my comment section and be like, "Nah, I don't want these people
with him.
I don't want these people commenting on me." Oh, I get some weird comments, especially after the last few videos. Anyways, enough talk about freaking me. Let's see. So let's talk about the let's talk about the news article for a second. That was really cool.
That was sweet.
As I mentioned at the beginning, everybody, Taylor was featured on the news for a second. Not for a second, for like 6 minutes or whatever it was. Her local news station. How did that all happen? Can you talk about like the like what it was, what they were talking about and stuff? Because this was just yesterday, right?
Yep, last night. And I didn't even watch it until it went live on TV, so I was nervous for a while. But it came out really good, so I'm really impressed with how they edited that together. It started, I think, like a month ago. It was New Hampshire Chronicle. They were doing a segment on a cat that does the 4,000 footers. I don't know if the cat like walked up the mountains or the cat just chilled in the backpack. But they wanted B-roll for that, so they asked if they could go on my YouTube channel and get some B-roll of Callie hiking, because it's like, oh, well, dogs always do it, but look at this cat. So
somebody there must have seen your channel before. Yeah,
I share it on the New Hampshire 4,000 footer Facebook page sometimes. So I think they saw it there, and they asked to get videos of Callie. And I'm like, yeah, sure, use whatever you want. And then it was the next day. So they probably dove into my videos trying to find those videos of my dog. And so the next day they're like, oh, like we'd love to do a segment on you. Do you want to Zoom? And I'm like, okay. I had to download Zoom because I've never actually used it before, which is surprising. So I went into it thinking they were going to Zoom like interview me to see if I was even a good candidate to be on the news. But then right when the Zoom interview started, they're like, okay, and we're going to record this, and this interview is going to be what plays on the TV.
Oh, like, no, you didn't even know.
Well, she probably mentioned, like, I don't know. I didn't ask too many questions when they told me I was going to be on the news.
You're
I'm like,
just
yeah,
like,
fine. 10 o'clock works. So yeah, they interviewed me for only 10 minutes. So I'm like, oh, that was not bad. And then it was 2 weeks later, the segment was ready. And it was all over New Hampshire.
It was awesome. And you said the response was pretty good too. We were talking about this a little bit this morning. I'll be honest, when I first like saw it, I didn't think, like, granted I don't live in New Hampshire, so I don't know much about WMUR or whatever it is. But I figured like not that many people would watch it, but it sounded like you actually got like a decent amount of subscribers and views and stuff from it afterwards, which is really cool, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people that live in New Hampshire watch New Hampshire Chronicle, so it's pretty popular. I think I might have gained 600 subscribers. But the coolest thing is in the segment, they showed my gift shop for like a split second.
Yes, I noticed that. Yep.
And I got 20 orders at my gift shop in 1 hour, and that's the craziest it's ever been.
Awesome. That's awesome. Right before your hike too. That's perfect.
Yeah, everyone got their Nahamsha t-shirts, and I'm like, well, this helps a lot. Thanks, guys.
That's awesome, honestly. That's really cool to hear. And like in hindsight, it makes sense. Like it's a local person talking about like a lot of local hikes and stuff. So obviously, like target audience, perfect. People are gonna want to tune in. So that's really cool. I was
at work this morning packaging all those orders, and some guy I don't know like peeked his head in the gift shop and said, "You know, you're famous," and then he just walked away. I'm like, I'm like, cool, thanks.
You get recognized a decent amount in your gift shop, though, don't you? Here I am back talking about this fucking fake YouTuber fame shit, but
yeah. Well, yeah, because it's easy, because people know if they want to see me or talk to me or anything, it's really obvious where to find me.
Right.
Because I put it everywhere where I work.
So you're like almost kind of used to it by now. That's why it just like feels weird for me, because it's happened like so few times that like I still don't even like know like what I would do, honestly. But hopefully nobody. It feels
weird talking about me being recognized.
I know, it does. Darwin on the trail calls himself a Kmart celebrity, which makes us like, because obviously we have way less
Dollar
reach.
Tree celebrities.
Not even. We're like the dumpster behind Dollar Tree celebrity style. Not even
Man.
celebrity. We're just, at least for I'll speak for myself. I am the dumpster behind Dollar Tree.
Okay.
But anyways, for this
We'll move up to Kmart one day.
someday, if I can get to Kmart celebrity status, then I'll have it made. So
You'll just quit your job and thru hike all the time.
that'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be great. Let's see. So, what are you most excited for? Very general question. For like your thru hike, like what, like out of all the things, if you can even choose, what excites you the most, like right now, like in your head?
I'm just excited to start, but like the most excited place on the AT or
Anything. I know. I didn't really. It's a very general question.
Very open-ended.
Yes.
I'm excited to just start and walk through that arch again. I'm excited. I know it's going to be way in the distance, but to get to New Hampshire, that to me is going to be the coolest part of the whole hike.
It absolutely will be, because that was like the coolest part for me when I got to Vermont. So I can imagine it'll be the same for you for sure.
Because I've done those peaks so many times, but just doing them as a thru hiker, I think is going to be so different and such a cool experience. And hopefully, if I have a group of people that I want to hike with, and stick around a bunch to see them experience New Hampshire.
Yep, I was just gonna say
cool.
that. Absolutely, because that's such a unique part of the trail, and it's almost gonna be a little bit of like frustration too, because you're gonna just be like the one thru hiker that actually knows the whites. You're gonna be like, oh, like I already know what it's like here, but like I can't just tell everybody that I meet that. But like you're gonna be thinking that a lot, or at least I was when I got to Vermont. I just wanted to tell like every single person, like, oh, I've already hiked this section. But at the end of the day, no one really cares that much. But
I want to stand up on like Mount Lincoln and Lafayette and point to like every single peak I've ever been on. Like, hey guys, I've been there and there and there.
Yep. Yeah,
I have a tendency of doing that.
That's gonna be awesome, though.
It's just exciting being there.
Yeah, for sure. You got a lot of miles before you make it to New Hampshire, though. But I think
I'm excited to just stay at a lot of different hostels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like I always say I'm not out there to just rough it and just sleep in my tent every single night and do big miles, but like I want to experience a lot of things. Like I want to go into town when I can and see all the hostels that I've heard people talk about a bunch. Mm-hmm. So I just want to experience as much as I can. So
yeah,
that all excites me.
It'll be interesting to see what is left after, or not even that makes it sound like everything's going to be shut down. What has changed since like COVID? That'll be a good conversation for us to have maybe after your thru hike is done.
Yeah.
Then we can kind of go through like our experiences and pinpoint, if people aren't sick of hearing about COVID shit by then, which honestly they probably will be because I'm already sick of it now, but just like pinpoint like what's changed and stuff. We'll see. Yeah. Taylor, I don't want to bug you too much about like the whole like ATC controversy and all that stuff. But I guess can I ask you about that? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Because like it is like kind of, it's not like that controversial. I feel like most people at this point are like, fuck it, just like go hike. But that's definitely how I feel towards people hiking this year. But I don't know. It must be a little bit sad knowing you're not technically getting the ATC's blessing. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I was really sad about it last year when they told everyone to get off. Because like as soon as the ATC said it, I took it as like the Bible.
Right.
And I'm like, I need to do whatever they say because I never like breaking the rules. I always do what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But at this point, them still saying not to thru hike, I am kind of shying away from doing whatever they say because I know how to keep myself safe. I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and I researched all the state restrictions that the AT goes through. And so there's no restrictions in any of like the first half of the AT. I think it's up until you get to Pennsylvania that you have to either get tested or quarantine. Mm-hmm. But if the whole state of Georgia is saying like, you don't need to quarantine, you don't need to get COVID tests, then I feel like there's nothing stopping me from going on the trail in that state or any of the states.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's probably controversial, but I know that I'm starting in February to hopefully be ahead of the bubble. But I know there's still going to be a bunch of people out there. But I don't really stay in shelters. I like going to hotels and getting rooms just to myself. So I know how to distance myself.
Oh yeah,
I'll do my best.
I think you'll be just fine. Yeah, and I think at this point, like a lot more people now are like fine with people hiking versus last year. I remember like I'm laughing about it. I probably shouldn't, but people were getting like harassed on the internet for like not stopping their hikes, and like it was rough. But this year it's totally different, just because it sucks that the ATC isn't recognizing thru hikers, and I know it's like way more complicated than just like that, but
I was gonna do a whole video on that, but then I just decided I didn't want to put that much negativity on my channel, because I know people are
exactly people and I shy away from that stuff too, and that's kind of why I was a little bit hesitant to ask you that question there.
But if you go to like the ATC's mission, because I was on their website for a while, like their mission is to protect the trails. So whatever they need to do to protect the trails, I think they're just going to say to not go on them. I think that's their safest. They're just trying to protect the trails than protect themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. I'm pretty sure everybody has a lot of thoughts on it at this point. I won't go any further though.
Hopefully no one cancels me.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. I'll get if you get canceled before me, that'll be a miracle. I'll tell you that. Yeah, a miracle from my end, a tragedy from yours. Not a miracle. I don't want you to get canceled. I don't want anybody to get canceled. No canceling, folks.
No, that's awful.
But it's probably gonna happen to me before it happens to you. Anyways, man, that does kind of suck though, not having the ATC's blessing. But it is what it is.
But isn't it a different program that gives you the 2,000 miler patch?
I don't know, to be honest. I never even applied for anything when I finished. I just went home and started eating a lot of food and working. So
yeah, no, that doesn't even matter to me, like getting the patch or a certificate.
That's like the first thing everybody always says, like, oh my god, I'm in all the Facebook groups, which I should probably just leave them, but every single day I feel like somebody comments like, oh, I heard the ATC isn't recognizing thru-hikes, as if that's like a new thing now.
And you know what? I get emails and comments and Facebook messages daily of people just copying and pasting that news article.
As if you haven't seen it yet.
Like, and that's my reaction every single time. I'm like, oh my god, no way. I didn't know that.
Oh, wait, really? You say that to them?
No, I don't respond, but that's just what I think in my head. I'm like, wow.
Like, oh my god, I'm about to leave in a week and I hadn't even bothered to read this article. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. That's kind of mean of me to say, but I get messages like pretty obvious stuff sometimes too from people. Maybe not, probably not as much as you're getting, right before your thru hike, but yeah, it's kind of bizarre. And every single time somebody posts about it, the first thing I'm honestly thinking about making a video making fun of like the hiking Facebook groups kind of. And the first thing every single time some guy will be like, oh, well, I don't need the ATC's recognition. Like, I'm just hiking for me. And it's like, yes, you don't need the ATC's recognition, but it's like, it's still like, I feel like it would still kind of sting just a little bit to not have their blessing. Even if I wasn't going to apply for the patch afterwards or whatever, which I didn't, or to join the whatever, I don't even know what they send you, certificate or whatever. Mm-hmm. It still just kind of sucks a little bit, but it is what it is. And I'm glad that you and a lot of other people are still going to go for it anyways. Class 2021 represent.
And I still have my hiker tag from last year. So I'm not in that group of people upset about not getting hiker tags.
Oh, I saw a thread about that too. Yeah. And like people are making their own tags, which is honestly kind of cool. Yeah. But also kind of just sad because of the whole situation. But
yeah, that was something.
It's all right. I wouldn't have even gotten my hiker tag. I honestly didn't even know about the hiker tags when I started. And I knew like the ATC wanted you to register, but I was still a little bit of a punk back then. So I was like, oh, like fuck that. I was just going to start hiking. But my parents dropped me off, and my mom was like, "Oh no, you should go in and like register or whatever." So I was like, "All right," I didn't really care that much, so I just went and did it, and that's when they gave me the tag. And looking back on it, I'm kind of glad because now I have the tag, which I wouldn't have gotten because I'm pretty sure I met a couple people who didn't get the tags, and they were like, "Oh shit!" Like I wish. I think you might get one at Harper's Ferry too, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm happy I have the tag. I would like that more than the patch that you get when you finish. I don't know.
So February is relatively early to start the AT. And in the last episode, talking to Jacob, he started like fucking even earlier, but February is still pretty early. I know you've talked about this on your channel quite a bit, but why are you starting so early? Why not wait until a more traditional time like March, April, or even like a later time like me? Why start in February?
Well, it was when I tried in 2020. It all had to do with my work schedule. So I was a ski instructor in the winter, and then February vacation week is the busiest week of the whole season. So I worked the whole February vacation week, and then I left the week after that. But then I wanted to start early in the season because my gift shop gets really busy in the summer. So I was thinking if I started in February, I could potentially finish when summer's just beginning and then go back to work. Because my gift shop is in such a touristy town.
Mm-hmm.
So July and August, there's so much to do at work. So I'm like, I just want to finish it, go back to work, and then have just so much less to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was aiming for like a March 1st to July 1st, which is stretching it, but I like the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
This time, work isn't as much of an issue because there's not such a need for me to get back in the summer because my shop's pretty able to run itself without me at this point.
Which is awesome for sure.
Yeah. Also with February, I know it's going to be cold, and I just like the challenge. I like seeing how far I can go in the cold, how warm I can stay, and I don't know, I just want to prove to myself that I can hike when it's cold and get all the gear that I need and do it. That's fun for me. Probably sounds miserable to a lot of people.
It sounds miserable to me, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I was like total opposite. I was like, I want the perfect, like the best conditions possible. I was like, fucking A, hiking 2,000 miles is going to be hard enough. But you're also like, you've done a decent amount of like cold weather hiking, obviously living in New Hampshire. So I feel like you're going to be better prepared for that than a lot of people coming from, just less experience and from like warmer areas potentially too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna, if it gets down to like 5 degrees while I'm sleeping and I sleep through the night and stay somewhat not frozen, I would get such a sense of accomplishment from that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. And also hiking in the cold is fun.
It's definitely better than hiking in the heat, I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. But you're gonna do plenty of that too by the end of your hike, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
my goal is to, when I get back to New Hampshire, still be able to see snow on the ground. That's the speed I want to go to.
What?
Well, there's snow in the Prezzies until July.
I guess that's true, yeah.
That's not something crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
That would be kind of crazy.
Well, I was following a lot of thru hikers in 2019, like the year before I set out, and a lot of them saw snow. So I think that would be fun.
That would be kind of cool. I never even thought about that because it was like September by the time I made it to the Whites, but that's all right. Let's see here. Let's talk about gear a little bit. It sounded like you had a pretty solid gear setup last time, but have you made any like changes to your gear? I know you just put out like, some videos about your gear and stuff, but gear wise, is there anything like major you changed up really?
Major thing is my backpack.
Your backpack, right? Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, Z-Packs just came out with the Arc Air, which is the 50-liter, and the pack I had last year was 57. So it was a bit of an adjustment, trying to downsize, but I like it so far. I think it works good. Just if I have too much food, I might have to put my tent on the outside of the pack, but not bad.
I don't think
I
you'll
have-
have that much food especially if you're going to try to hike,
Yeah.
relatively
Yep.
fast, I guess.
Yeah, and I am planning on not carrying so much food this time.
Hmm.
I don't know what else is different. My tent's the same. It's the duplex. I still have my 10-degree quilt. I think the biggest, I don't know if it's a piece of gear, but my phone is different, and I'm so excited. I switched from an iPhone to an Android, so
Hey, let's
I
go.
know.
So many fucking people. You probably got this already, but anybody listening out there who has an Android phone knows the struggle. So many people give you shit for having an Android phone. Like every person, like anytime I ever give somebody my number who has an iPhone, they're like, "Oh, like we can't iMessage," and I'm like, I don't care. Like honestly, like screw your iMessage. So I'm glad to hear that you switched to an Android phone.
Yeah, it's so great. The screen is giant. It takes really good videos, and I'm impressed. I'm excited to bring it out and vlog with that.
And then the selfie stick thing, I saw that video.
What?
Isn't there like a button that you can? Oh no! Oh my god! I'm thinking of someone else. I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking of.
No, but it's cool because it has the stylist.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was.
Note.
That's what it was. Actually, you're right. That's
so
and you can press the button, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
You press the button on the stylus to take a picture and start the video. So that'll be helpful for all my hiking influencing Instagram shots.
and you could set up the video too. Although I guess you could always just do the classic like walk away from the camera and then walk back towards it like nothing happened shot, but that'll make things a little bit easier, I guess.
You wouldn't have to do so much clipping and splitting and when it comes to the editing.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, honestly. That's a good little pro tip. That would be helpful for sure because I was thinking in my head because like I've done some of the self timer shots before on my camera, and actually it's not even self timer. I usually will open the app on my phone and then set the camera up and then use the phone to control the camera from like wherever I'm posing or whatever I'm doing. Actually, I haven't done those. I haven't done that in a while. It's been like over a year since I did that. It's kind of cringy, but it's necessary. But then I was like, oh, but if my phone is my camera, then I couldn't do that. But like that little stylus or whatever it is, like I remember just getting excited about that when I watched your video because I was like, that actually looks pretty dope. That's a good idea.
When I went to AT&T to get a new phone, I tried telling the girl working that I take a lot of videos without trying to tell her I was a YouTuber. So I was like, yeah, I go on hikes and I like to take videos. And she goes, oh, you need this one with the pen and the button. I'm like, yes, I do.
Did she find out eventually or she...
No, she had no idea.
You kept it
concealed.
concealed.
I was like, yeah, like I bring my tripod when I hike and yeah, it was funny.
There's no non-douchey way to tell somebody that you have a YouTube channel. Because like I feel like most of the time they're just going to assume it's just like you just started it and like you don't know what you're doing and nobody watches it or anything. But then you have to explain like, oh no, like people actually watch it, but then you just sound like an asshole, like tooting your own horn basically. So
yeah, it's such a weird thing.
It is a weird thing. And I'm glad that we can talk about this, Taylor, because 99.9% of the population is not able to relate to that. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Although not that I'm like just going around telling people that I have a YouTube channel very often, but every now and then it comes up, you know?
Yeah, it's a big part. You putting out a video every week, it takes up a lot of time, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does. Let's see. So I asked you what you were most excited for, very generally. I'm going to ask you another general question, but the opposite. You probably already know where I'm going with this. What are you least excited for? I know I'm just trying to get you pumped up for your hike here. What are you least excited for?
Yeah, great way to pump me up. Well, right now there's, I don't know, like 1 to 2 feet of snow in the Smokies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's still going to be there. That might be tricky to navigate, trying to go through the whole
Smokies. I feel
Smokies.
like the whole East Coast has a shit ton of snow right now.
Yeah, we have gotten a lot in the last week or two. So, little nervous for the Smokies, but I'm taking I have a lot more stuff to keep me warmer, like a sleeping bag liner and better base layers. So, that's fine. I don't know. I hear things about the Virginia blues and just having all that time just stuck in Virginia and like losing excitement at
Nah,
that
don't
point.
listen to it. Don't
I
listen
don't
to it.
know.
It's hard. It's like the Virginia blues is just like a perfect storm of like a bunch of different things combining together, which I never realized until I did it, obviously. But it's just the fact that you're already like balls deep in your thru hike at this point. So like you're kind of over the honeymoon. And then also, I mean, the long state thing does like definitely play a role as well. And then usually the weather like kind of gets like pretty hot and muggy by then for like most people, I guess. Maybe not so much, but for me certainly. But Virginia's not bad. Like don't listen to people who tell you Virginia sucks, because they suck. The Virginia's not bad. It's not bad.
Maybe you can make me change my mind on this topic too, but I am nervous for the Shenandoahs because I heard there's just so many bears.
That
and I
is
don't know
true.
why they freak me out so much.
I'm surprised that you're nervous for the Shenandoahs though because of that, and I'm not trying to freak you out more, but the Smokies has just as many bears, I feel like.
You think?
I feel like the Smokies and Shenandoah were the two places where people saw bears the most often. That being said, I didn't see any bears in the Smokies, and basically the only place I saw bears, or bear, stupid plural or whatever, but the only place I saw any was in the Shenandoahs pretty much for my entire hike. So I feel like you'll definitely see some in Shenandoah, but you shouldn't be nervous because there's a lot of people there. Like I highly doubt you'll really feel like super isolated by yourself through the Shennies just because there's so many people. And also the bears, because of that, the bears are like pretty used to seeing people too. So like I don't think it'll be as sketchy. And I can pretty much guarantee you're going to see a bear before you get to the Shennies anyway. So
yeah. That just freaks me out. Like I know bears aren't as bad as people make them seem, but just walking down the trail by yourself and all of a sudden seeing just a giant bear come out of nowhere just freaks me out.
It is a little freaky. Yeah, but you'll be okay. You'll see a few. There's no way you'll do the entire AT without seeing a bear. If that's happened to you, anybody listening, let me know, because that's crazy.
Do you think I can do the whole AT without seeing a moose?
Yes. But hiking through Maine and the Whites a lot, and I guess even Vermont has a population of moose as well. There's still a good chance you'll see one, but you're far more likely to go the whole thing without seeing a moose just because they're only in the last couple states versus bear. You know, you can see bear. I feel like I heard of somebody seeing a bear in almost every single state. Maybe not. Maybe once you get into moose territory, there's less bears up in our neck of the woods. But for the southern part, like in Georgia, there's a lot of bears. Smokies, there's a lot of bears. Shenandoah, obviously, but even other parts of Virginia too. I think Flossie or somebody I hiked with saw one, even in like New York. So in New Jersey, I think it's got a lot of bears. So yeah, hopefully
they're out
this
there. Through
You'll be
hike
okay,
will, hopefully by the end that can help my fear of bears.
People know that the rattlesnakes scare me way more than bears do. 100%.
That's true.
Yeah, so watch out for those
freaky.
Did you see any, or was it still kind of early?
No, I didn't see any. I
You
saw
will.
like one. Well, yeah, because it was March. Aren't they like a summer thing?
I think so. I think they come out more, and I'm not a rattlesnake expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they come out more when the weather warms up, yeah.
Yeah. No. I've never seen a rattlesnake. Have never seen a moose.
You've never seen a moose, really, even after hiking so much in New Hampshire?
No, I've seen them in Montana, but never on the East Coast.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I guess I've never. I've come real close to moose before in the Whites because I've seen their shit, but I don't think I've ever seen one. I saw one on the road in New Hampshire. Actually, I saw one on the road one time, 2 times. Once in Crawford Notch, once in Pinkham Notch Road 16, I think it is. I can't remember the name of the road there, but I've never seen one hiking there.
I was disappointed by your YouTube video with the clickbait moose attack.
Oh, what do you mean? That was it happened so long ago that I couldn't, like, you could barely see the moose, but at least you could still see it on camera a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
you
an
go
old
into
video.
a video titled Moose Attack and you're like, oh, I kind of saw it out in the distance.
I mean, no. I was probably within like 15 feet of it. But
Okay.
but this was in 2013, and I was filming on a camera that was even older than that, so it was probably like 180p quality, and so you could just barely see it. You could barely make it out because it was just a giant pixel, basically. But I was close to that fucking thing. Trust me.
All right. I watched that video a while ago.
That's an old video. Yeah.
Yep.
That's an old video. That one didn't do very well, so maybe you weren't the only one disappointed.
Oh.
But that was a crazy story. Let's see. We got about 10 minutes left here, Taylor. What's something else that we need to catch up on? Or anything else you want to talk about as far as the AT? Are there any questions? I'm going to turn this on you. Are there any questions that you have pertaining to the AT? I can't imagine you have that many questions left unanswered at this point, but any questions you would want to ask a person who's already done the AT as you're about to leave for your own AT adventure?
Well, I'm like super familiar, obviously, with the first 270 miles, and then familiar with New Hampshire. But is there anywhere in like the middle of the trail that you would recommend like getting off? Like any towns in the middle, towards the middle that you
That's a good
enjoyed?
question. That's a really good question. Let's see here. Cool towns.
Because I know absolutely nothing about Virginia or Tennessee or any of those mid-states.
I feel like I need a... Let's see. Gatlinburg was kind of interesting, but I guess you already would have gone through there.
Oh, that's right in the middle of the Smokies.
Yeah, so it was like it would have been towards the end of your hike.
Yeah, I do want to experience Gatlinburg.
It's a long hitch though. For AT standards, it's long anyways. I'm trying to think of like I feel like when I think of my favorite towns, I think of like towns like up here, like Manchester Center, Vermont. Rutland was a good town. Lincoln was a great town. Lincoln, New Hampshire. I'm trying to think of some of the more middle town stops. There's a bunch in Pennsylvania, which that might be nice, like knowing that when you get to Pennsylvania, you can go into town a lot, especially if you're hiking big miles. You can go into town. I think there was a day where I stayed in a hotel or hostel like 6 nights in a row or something like that.
Nice.
Which like is kind of a bitch move on my part, honestly, but
I'm all
it's
for it.
It's a good safety net. It's like, so I guess knowing that like once you make it into Pennsylvania, like okay, I'm and even going down into Virginia too, like through the Shennies, like once you, I'll say this isn't really an answer to your question, but once you make it to the Shennies, at least from my experience, it was like pretty smooth sailing all the way up until maybe like Delaware Water Gap, and even there it's not like bad after that, but I just remember that stretch of trail. So basically northern Virginia through most of Pennsylvania like being like pretty cruisy, like you know, the weather sucked, so that sucked for me, but the terrain's really easy. But back to towns, let's see. There's like the classic hostels, like what's that place called? Standing Bear. Places.
Oh, I did stay at Standing
yeah.
Bear.
Oh, you're right. Actually, I'm pretty sure we talked about this now that I think about it.
Oh my god, I was leaving the Smokies expecting to stay at like a really nice hostel. I'm like, I'm gonna go into town. I'm gonna resupply, stay at this hostel, and it's just not what you think it is.
That place has some character.
I didn't even shower there. Like they had a porta potty. You can use that, but I didn't even go into the shower little house. I resupplied, but every single item of food in my resupply was expired. So I thought that was funny.
I remember you saying that now. Oh my god, that place is interesting.
That was funny.
I'm trying to think of like other good towns. You probably went into Franklin, North Carolina, right?
Yeah, and that new hostel, Chica and Sunsets.
That's for okay. I didn't know that was in Franklin.
I talk about them so much because it was just such a nice place.
I'm sure you'll stay there again then, huh?
Yeah, I can't imagine not.
Yeah. Let's see. Other good towns. Waynesboro, Virginia was pretty good. The town itself wasn't like super nice by any means, but the hostel, Stanimals, I think it's called, was really nice. I feel like I probably shouldn't recommend hostels because I don't even know what's open. It's like, first of all, because it's been so long ago, and also
That's
just
true.
COVID. One thing I'll say, one town that comes to mind, Glasgow, Virginia, because that's where the freaking like there's like a my friend Dan, who's actually here visiting right now, he's in the other room. He lives in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and so he had gone and picked me up when I was a little bit south of Harrisonburg, but he dropped me back off in Glasgow, Virginia, and there's like this shelter that's in town there, and it's got like some really sketchy running water somehow. It's like right behind like a pizza restaurant. I'm assuming it's still there, but most homeless I've ever felt, and he still tells this story sometimes. He's like, yeah, I just dropped you off like at this, basically like it looked like a homeless shelter just in the middle of town, just like this janky fucking like shed looking thing with a bunch of hiker boxes and trash basically everywhere. So go to Glasgow. That was a cool little town.
Nice. Is Damascus cool?
Oh, Damascus. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Damascus
Okay.
was awesome. I don't know how I forgot about Damascus.
Yeah, I'm excited to
yes.
reach that point of the hike.
Yes. Towns that the trail goes through, which you probably got to experience a little bit already. I'm trying to think. Actually, maybe Hot Springs was the first one. But it was always nice when the trail actually went right through the town, because then you don't have to, not that I really mind hitchhiking, but you just don't have to do that extra effort. You can just walk right through town. So like Damascus was cool. There's a couple in Massachusetts, like I'm blanking on the names now. I remember going through a couple towns in Massachusetts though that the trail just went right through, which was nice. And then what other ones? I don't know. There's other ones. People listening probably know a lot of them. You'll figure it out.
I'm excited to experience all that.
I'm excited for you. I'm really excited to watch the vlogs too.
Oh yeah, there'll be a lot of them.
I'm sure there will be. I'm sure your channel will pop off too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'll be really cool. Taylor, we're kind of getting to the end here now. Is there anything else that you want to say or bring up, or I should have asked you about relating to any of the things we talked about today?
I don't know. I think that covered it.
Okay.
I feel like I talked about myself a lot.
Yeah, I talked about myself a lot in this one too. Yeah, I kind of took this one over in some spots, so sorry everyone. But
no, you're good.
It's all good. Okay, so plug your stuff then for people who haven't subscribed or followed you on Insta and all that stuff. Where can they go do that to follow your journey?
Yep. So obviously have a YouTube channel, which is Taylor the Nahamsha Hiker, and so that's where all my Appalachian Trail videos will be, and a lot of my prep videos that I've already put out. So a lot of content over there. There's Instagram, which is nahamsha.hiker, and my gift shop, Nahamsha Gifts.
Yes.
You want to plug that while I have the chance?
Definitely. Yep. Well,
Gift
Taylor,
shops.
good luck. I'm excited to follow it, like I just said.
Thanks.
I'm jealous, as I said 1,000 times at the beginning. I'm very jealous, and you're gonna crush it. Like most people, like I feel like I don't want to sound like a jerk here, but most people, it's like when I see them like their AT announcement or whatever, their vlogs and stuff, I'm like I want them to succeed, but I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be hard. Like, well,
statistically, not a lot of people finish.
Exactly,
so.
But I feel like, and I'm not just saying this, I'm not just flattering my guest or whatever. And I think you kind of know this. You've got as good of a chance as anybody does, just based off of your experience. So, you're gonna be good. You're gonna crush it, and I'm excited.
Thanks.
So everybody, go follow her. Taylor, thank you for doing this. We're gonna have to do one after you get back. You know.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Can I be up on the list of your most frequent?
Yes, you should.
Guests?
Hell, we should even try to do one through hike. You don't got to commit to that now because I know it's a hassle to make that happen when you're actually out there. But
what about when I'm in Vermont? That'd be a fun one.
Oh yeah, true. That would be. We'll have to make it happen then. All right.
Yeah.
You're committed. Scratch that. You committed. Okay, cool. Thank you for committing to that. We're gonna make that
No
happen,
problem.
everybody. And we'll have to do one after too. Taylor, good luck out there. Thank you for doing this, and thank you to everybody listening. Until next week, probably. Have a good one, everybody.